And I'm Layla,
Welcome back to our channel, Elementary My Dear,
where we make nutrition science easy for you to digest.
Today we're reacting to some of the worst nutrition advice on TikTok.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss one of our videos. There is a lot of nutrition advice around the internet. I know this is, I think, the intro to 98% of our videos. And I'm a huge TikTok lover. I think I've pulled you over to the dark side through the past couple of years. Today, we are reacting specifically to people who want to talk about metabolism and how you can fix your metabolism, break your metabolism,
Boost your metabolism. Should we get right into it?
Let's get into it.
The Clovis culture.
Clovis culture. He is a certified nutrition coach. And as someone who spent 6 years and numerous exams becoming a registered dietitian,
We love to hear it.
we love a certified nutrition coach, whatever that means.
Sneaky things that damage your metabolism. Part 1. Listen, a breakthrough study from 2018 showed that 88% of adults have metabolic dysfunction. So if somebody tells you to just eat less and move more, recommend this biochemistry book to them and move along. And did you know that a damaged metabolism doesn't just make you store more body fat? It also causes bloating, fatigue, anxiety, hair loss, and all sorts of other not fun things. I'm Justin Nault. I'm a certified nutritional therapist, and I teach people to lose weight by eating more and exercising less. So what's causing all this metabolic damage? Number 1 is seed oils. Seed oils are commercially processed trash that contribute to cancer, damage your immune system, and put your body into hibernation mode. Literally. Studies show your metabolism starts acting like a bear in hibernation when you eat this stuff, storing and holding onto as much body fat as possible. Seed oils are hidden in most packaged foods in many countries, including the US, where I am, the UK, Canada, and Australia. And almost all restaurants cook with them, even the expensive ones. Here are some common seed oils. Take a screenshot for later. Replace seed oils in your life with gut-friendly fruit oils like coconut or olive, or high-quality animal fats like grass-fed butter or ghee. Hit that plus sign to follow me for more metabolism tips. And if you want to download my free rapid fat loss morning routine, go here and click here. Comment if you want to see part 2, and I'll let you know when the next video in the series is up.
So, Ravina, we must get the Biochemistry for Dummies textbook. I'm wondering how that would compare with the multiple biochemistry textbooks that we had to get.
I feel like he said so many things. One of the first claims that he made was that 88% of Americans have metabolic dysfunction, and he cited a paper, which I really appreciate because that means that we can go take a look ourselves.
That paper was actually about something called metabolic syndrome. And while metabolic syndrome has the word metabolic, which sounds like metabolism, it does not actually really have anything to do with what he's talking about, metabolism.
That paper is referring to metabolic syndrome, which is a group of conditions. It includes waist circumference, blood glucose, cholesterol, triglycerides, and blood pressure. And essentially, if you have at least 3 of those elevated levels of those conditions, you could be diagnosed with metabolic syndrome. And I believe that paper was defining metabolic health as having normal levels of all of those things, which doesn't have anything to do with metabolism in the sense of energy expenditure, which is what he's referring to.
Honestly, the fact that 86% of Americans have at least one of those things that are of concern, that is something to talk about, but does not relate to what he's saying at all. What was the next? Oh, the number 1 cause. Was that the next thing he said?
I think so. Seed oils. I've seen a lot of hate on seed oils in like every context. We did that other TikTok reaction video about nutritionists and what foods they would never eat, and those types of plant oils came up a lot. I don't know where this hate is coming from, but it seems to be circulating the nutritionist space on TikTok a lot.
And I don't really understand, I guess, why there's a distinction between fruit oils like coconut and olive and seed oils, especially when he's talking about coconut oil as being this very healthful oil, unlike canola oil, which is terrible for you. When you look at the data, coconut oil is not associated with great health outcomes, and canola oil actually has similar effects to olive oil when we look at outcomes like insulin resistance and cardiovascular disease.
We were trying to speculate what the hate on the seed oils was, and I think part of it might be that their fatty acid profile, the ratio is higher in omega-6 works. And omega-6 fatty acids are viewed as an inflammatory compound, but in practice, we actually find that these types of foods are associated with lowering things like cholesterol, and they're actually associated with better heart health outcomes.
Canola oil is pretty consistently seen in the literature as showing benefits for chronic diseases that are associated with inflammation.
Next, the hibernation mode. I think we missed
that.
we
missed the hibernation. Sorry, that was just so out there. I tried to probably studies show that these lead to hibernation mode. You turn into a bear.
Our bear mode goes on the more seed oils we consume.
Our bear mode.
We must have missed that lecture.
We missed that lecture in physiology, definitely. Bear mode. We covered the digestive system, we covered the reproductive system, the respiratory system, missed the
bear mode.
The bear mode.
Hibernation phase.
I don't know what that means.
I don't even know what he means by that.
There are animals who adapt to hibernate. There are animals who migrate. Human beings don't do either of those two things.
No, but the seed oils make our bodies do that. I would love to read that book and understand the mechanism that he's proposing.
Well, he said there's papers that show that. There's research studies. Unfortunately, when you go on PubMed, which is kind of a collection of a lot of the scientific research that's out there, bear mode doesn't really come up, especially like bear mode plus seed oils doesn't lead to a lot. So Justin, maybe pick up a few more of those for dummies books. Takeaways from what Justin has to say. Metabolic syndrome, not metabolism.
Wait, we should maybe explain what metabolism is. I sometimes forget what we talk with just each other.
Yeah,
what
and
we
then
actually say
say.
on camera. The caption is ready to ditch the diet industry and heal your metabolism. He says this is about healing your metabolism. And first of all, I'd like to even know what he means by that. What are you healing? What is sick? What about your metabolism is ill or unwell?
When people talk about metabolism, they talk about it as if it is a concrete thing. Like it's like healing your liver or like healing a cut. You heal your metabolism. If he would have read his biochemistry for dummies book, he would actually know that metabolism is a word that describes all the processes that happen in your body that use or produce energy. This is everything that's happening in your body all at once. All the things that your body is building, the processes that allow you to breathe and create energy, what happens with those products of breathing, how you break down food, how those nutrients interact, all of that, everything is metabolism. And so healing it,
I just don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't think Justin gets it.
I don't think Justin gets it.
Yeah.
Justin, do better.
Do better.
Okay, on to the next.
We have Nourished with Becca, holistic health coach.
Signs of a slow metabolism: cold hands and feet, bloated after every meal, no morning appetite, hair is falling out, drink 5 cups of coffee to get through the day, easily overwhelmed and anxious, difficulty losing body fat, and can't stay asleep at night. That's bold.
To be fair, some of these things, like having cold hands and feet, a lot of the outputs of creating energy in your body is heat. If you're having cold hands and feet, it could be that you're not producing a lot of heat within your body.
Difficulty losing body fat. Hypothyroidism is actually kind of a common condition, and slightly slowed metabolism is a symptom of that, and that kind of plays into the cold hands and feet as well. A lot of the other ones though, bloating after every meal, there could be so many different causes for that, even the volume of foods that you're eating, the types of foods, maybe certain fibers, certain food sensitivities. Hair falling out can be caused by a wide host of nutrition deficiencies. No morning appetite, I feel like that's just an individual thing. Feeling tired, yeah, that's another thing that perhaps could be linked to hypothyroidism, but it could also be linked to a million other things, including not sleeping well, being stressed, overexerting yourself, not getting enough food.
There's a lot that could explain like any of these symptoms. And honestly, if you have any of these symptoms and they are bothering you, these are actually like very serious things. Like especially, hair falling out, that could be nutrition deficiency. It could be a sign of like another disease, even like being overwhelmed and anxious. Like those are all things to go see a physician about. My girl, what's her name? Becca, she says, listen, you just follow me. She got you. She's got you. She's gonna teach you how to speed up that metabolism and cure all of these different things. She has like her little caption here. Your metabolism is way more than just your weight. That gives me an insight into what people think metabolism is, because I think metabolism is this word that everyone throws around left, right, and center. People are maybe saying that metabolism is your weight. Your metabolism is more like your energy expenditure, like how much energy you're using throughout the day. that can play into your weight?
I think most of the time when people say metabolism, what they are referring to is their energy expenditure. The sentence, your metabolism is way more than just your weight. It's not even your weight. Weight can influence your metabolism because generally speaking, height and weight and mass, those things do affect your energy expenditure because larger bodies burn more energy.
And vice versa, your energy expenditure can influence your weight, but weight is not metabolism. And I think this word of like a slow metabolism, it's like slow in comparison to what? Slow kind of shows that there is a normal metabolism that you should be at. If you're slow, to me that's a sign of like a pathophysiology, like you have an illness. But just because if you're keeping weight on or you're not losing weight as fast as you want to, that doesn't necessarily mean that your metabolism is slow. This obsession with metabolism, a lot of people feel a lot of like guilt and blame around like how much they weigh or not being able to lose weight. And so it's easy to say, oh, this is something wrong with my body. But I think like we're kind of pointing our fingers at the wrong things. There are a lot of different factors that influence whether or not you can lose weight or not, that are external to your will and your volition.
I think you're absolutely right. You hear this story a lot about like if you're someone that maybe has trouble losing weight or whatever, and then you have that one friend that can eat whatever they want and they're always so skinny and they can eat whatever they want. I think there's like this thought there that, oh, that person just has a really fast metabolism or I have a really slow metabolism. So I think you're right. I think it's just trying to find that one thing to blame it on.
Someone like holistic health coach Becca, she's kind of playing into that idea to try and push her objectives and saying like, oh, this is something you can fix. When metabolism is complex, it is every single process going on in your body.
Okay, Dr. Caitlin Rose.
Foods that support your metabolism, part 1. High quality sources of saturated fat, such as butter made from milk from grass-fed cows and coconut oil. Cooking with saturated fats helps to support your metabolism. These foods have been wrongly demonized for years, even though there's substantial evidence to prove otherwise. It's the vegetable oils, aka seed oils, that slow your metabolism. These vegetable oils are hidden in all kinds of foods, such as mayonnaise, and even in salad dressings, and they're commonly used in butter substitutes. So when you're grocery shopping, always check the ingredients for these seed oils. Those vegetable oils, aka seed oils, contain polyunsaturated fatty acids that slow your metabolism. Follow to learn more about the foods that support your metabolism.
I don't understand it's hard to even know what to target when you're listening to these things. Let's start with the grass-fed butter and the
saturated
coconut oil.
She said saturated fats boost your metabolism.
And then she pointed to the source that basically says that, over the years, we've wrongly blamed saturated fat for a lot of the poor health outcomes that we see in North America. And I think that is true. We're kind of changing our line of thinking or trying to understand the processes and the underlying mechanisms there more. The idea that maybe saturated fat isn't necessary to blame, I think it is starting to maybe become a more prevalent line of thought. However, that has nothing to do with metabolism. That was always about heart health, including the exact source that she pulled up. That's about cardiology and heart health. So this is certainly a valuable conversation to be had. But what it has to do with supporting your metabolism, I will not understand.
Then her next claim is that it's she said vegetable oils, plant oils? Oils that come from plants, I guess she says. Except for coconut oil, because actually it's weird because she even demonized olive oil in here, but coconut oil also comes from a plant. So
yeah, she was cool with coconut oil.
So I guess she has a hate for polyunsaturated fats.
Correct, yeah.
So she says that plant-based oils, except for coconut oil, are slowing your metabolism. We talked already a little bit about what is metabolism. When we're thinking about what could possibly be a mechanism for saturated fats improving your metabolism and speeding it up, and polyunsaturated fats slowing your metabolism? That is a big question for me, what those terms mean. It's the number of hydrogens that are attached to the carbon. In a saturated fat, they're saturated in hydrogens. All the carbons have the most amount of hydrogens attached as possible, whereas polyunsaturated fats means that at many different positions along the carbon chain, There's a hydrogen missing and like 2 bonds between the carbons instead of just 1. From what I know about your body's utilization of saturated fats versus unsaturated fats and your processing of saturated versus unsaturated fats into energy, that is completely unfounded. In fact, polyunsaturated fats are necessary. Those are indispensable. She clearly has no idea about what different types of fats are or what metabolism is or how you can actually influence your metabolism. But I wish there made a little bit more sense so that we could actually like break it down.
That's the thing. I feel like a lot of these claims, that's why I was having a hard time, because I'm like, I don't even know what they're saying. They're not even sensible enough sentences to have a conversation.
All right.
Okay, last one.
A trend that I've seen a lot of lately is this trifecta of drinking coffee, intermittent fasting, and working out all at the same time every single day. And this is an excellent way to accidentally break your metabolism because you're doing it probably to lose weight or maybe to feel good. And maybe it does feel good for a while because honestly, cortisol feels good. And each of these things that I mentioned are going to have you release cortisol. And when you're doing it all at the same time, you're probably pumping out a lot of cortisol. Problem though is that as you pump out a lot of cortisol like this over time, it can be a huge stress on the body. And without getting into this too much because I only have a minute here, your adrenals can start to get kind of tired. That's not a scientific term, but it can have a domino effect to the rest of your body, your sex hormones, and things can really get out of whack. So if you're doing this and you're not feeling great, stop.
Okay. You know what? I will begin with a positive. If you are doing those things and you're not feeling good, then yes, you should stop.
She's saying that there are 3 things that she's seeing a lot of people doing, which is exercising, intermittent fasting, and drinking coffee daily. And that all of those things are the trifecta to breaking your metabolism. And if we haven't been clear about that, if your metabolism is broken, that means you are dead. Okay.
Yes.
Maybe she means slow down your metabolism.
2 of those things actually would increase your energy expenditure. When you're exercising, you are using more energy. Also, when you're recovering from exercise, you're using more energy. If you're building muscle mass, you're going to be increasing your basal metabolic rate because typically muscle tissue is more active than fat tissue. And so building more muscle mass, you're using more energy. Caffeine, we talked about that last week. It increases your state of activation. Drinking 6 cups of coffee a day increases your energy expenditure by 100 calories per day.
In terms of intermittent fasting, I actually don't know a lot about it. I don't know if it does lower your metabolism. I can't imagine that it would. A lot of the claims around intermittent fasting is that it actually does the opposite, which again, I don't think there's evidence to support either. Another thing that she said that is that maybe it feels good in the beginning because the cortisol makes you feel good. Cortisol is literally referred to as the stress hormone all the time. It is not a feel-good hormone. It is not something that makes you feel good. So I'm not sure what that is in reference to. Is it kind of like the runner's high that she's conflating? I'm not really sure.
It's dopamine.
Right, so that is a feel-good hormone. That's not cortisol making you feel that way.
Yeah.
She mentioned your adrenals getting tired, and I know adrenal fatigue is a term that gets thrown around. As far as I know, that's not a medically accepted term. Let me just double check that. Is it
Adrenal fatigue is a notion.
It's a medical myth. Adrenal fatigue is a notion that our adrenal glands get overworked by stress and stop producing the hormones we need, including cortisol. But it's a medical myth. It is likely that there is an actual underlying issue, but adrenal fatigue or the idea of your adrenal glands getting tired is likely not the issue.
That's just not how things work in your body. The sad thing is she's a dietitian. That's why I wanted to include this video is because I saw so many people shitting on dietitians.
You were saying that doctors were stitching this video and kind of saying like, oh, here's another dietitian being a dum-dum. So that's a bummer.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I'm not really sure where she's like located out of. I don't know what her education is. I don't know, maybe she got a bad piece of information and, went with that.
So all that being said, let's talk about how you can increase your metabolism. Most of the time, like we said, when people are throwing around the word metabolism, what they mean is energy expenditure. Your energy expenditure basically comes from 3 components. One of them is your resting metabolic rate. So if you were to just lay around doing nothing all day, but still breathing and your heart beating and you're just staying alive, the amount of energy that it would take to just do that. Then there is physical activity, which includes intentional exercise as well as non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So it's all the physical movements that you do that's not actual intentional exercise. And then you also have the thermic effect of food, because believe it or not, your body actually does take up energy just digesting the food that you eat. Each one of those things, there are things that you can do to tweak the amount of energy that those three things take in terms of how effective it would be or how transformative it would be, or whether it's a negligible change. That would all come down person to person and what exactly you're doing. Should we start with physical activity?
If you're moving more, you're using more energy. Congratulations, you've boosted your metabolism. That being said, if you're doing things that are like weight-bearing exercise and you're increasing the amount of lean body mass and muscle mass in your body, your resting metabolic rate, so that's just like you chilling doing nothing, actually does go up. Physical activity is probably the biggest thing you can do to boost your metabolism.
Now, when it comes to the thermic effect of food, out of the three macronutrients, you have carbohydrates, you have fats, and you have proteins. Proteins actually take your body a little more energy to kind of break down and digest. If you were to have a higher protein diet compared to what you were eating before, your energy expenditure, chances are, would be a little higher. But again, I mean, I feel like that might be a negligible difference, because the thermic effect of food as a whole is only about 10% of your total energy expenditure. That 10% is coming from all types of foods that you're eating. Yeah. Just those two things are pretty much the only way, I would say, to boost your metabolism. Conversely, things that might cause a slower metabolism, if you have tried weight loss efforts before through things like restrictive dieting, your body will tend to respond to calorie restriction by lowering your metabolism. And that's actually really hard to reverse. Even, beyond the calorie restriction, just the act of losing weight and being in a smaller body means that you will need less energy. That RMR, that resting metabolic rate, it is largely influenced by, we talked about muscle mass and body composition, but things like height and weight also really play into that, because as you can imagine, the more mass you have, that means there are more cells, more tissues, more just a body to take care of and maintain.
Those are basically the two ways you can slow your metabolism.
Switching from flaxseed oil to coconut oil, not gonna do it.
Not gonna do it.
So all you doctors and certified health coaches, do better.
Definitely. And this one dietitian.
Oh yeah.
Megan.
Yeah. On that note, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a video, and follow us on Instagram and TikTok.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.